We're with Randy Couture here in Extreme Couture in Las Vegas, your gym here that you train all your athletes at. And obviously, you still train here yourself. Tell us a little bit about why you were excited to work with USA Wrestling and have one of our grappling events here in your gym.
Well, I think obviously having been a wrestler and come up through the wrestling ranks and wrestled for USA Wrestling for a number of years, and now seeing USA Wrestling and the light going off and them kind of committing time and energy to grappling, which is a big part of mixed martial arts as well as wrestling. For us to get a chance to host, the trials here, it was exciting for me to be in a position, have a facility, have all the things to connect those dots, and it'll be really cool to see all those guys here competing for their spot and their chance to go abroad and represent the U.S.
Now you still keep a good eye on wrestling, even though you're doing movies, you're also fighting at times. Your career has gone for many years in MMA. You still enjoy keeping up with the sport of wrestling, the guys on the college and the Olympic levels?
Absolutely. I think wrestling will always be a part of who I am. I think it's one of the things that helped me develop as a person, as an individual, and carried me through all the things I've been through in my life. So I still want to know who's hot, who's competing, what's going on in the wrestling world. And obviously, fortunate here at Extreme Couture, we get a chance to rub elbows with a lot of those guys that are now aspiring into mixed martial arts as well.
You keep an eye on the Cowboys down at Oklahoma State and see how they're doing. Obviously, John Smith's done a great job with the program. After the years that you were there, they continue to excel. You ever get down or deal any with the Cowboys at all?
Well, John's first year in coaching was my senior year in college, and I think I was older than he was my senior year. But I recently, 2 years ago, went out and did an appearance in Tulsa and drove over to Stillwater, and John gave me the nickel tour of everything, the new facilities, met a bunch of the guys, and me and him and Pat Smith, obviously one of my teammates, got to sit at Eskimo Joe's and have lunch. It was a great day for me.
Let's talk a little bit about your career in mixed martial arts and how wrestling helped you as an athlete, and then through the course of learning how to succeed in that sport, the things you learned at wrestling that brought you to success there.
Well, I think I developed a character, and it started for me in junior high school. My first wrestling coach, Coach John Casebeer, somebody I still talk to today. He's been to a couple of my fights, and I just, not having a strong father figure in my household, those wrestling coaches were those guys for me. They were the guys that taught me that discipline, were that example of how to act and how to be. And this sport is what fostered a lot of the character that I feel like I carry around now, the integrity and the willingness to work and outwork anybody that I had to compete against. And those were all things I felt like I learned in wrestling, and also the things that I think have allowed me some success in mixed martial arts and the other things that I've done in my life.
You remember your days of wrestling at the World Championships in Greco and some of the rivalries and opponents that you had there. What are your thoughts about those days in your career? Obviously, you wrestled a long time. You didn't jump into mixed martial arts early. You did a full wrestling career before you got involved.
Yeah, my first fights in mixed martial arts were until I was 34, and I'd already been an alternate and been to the Worlds a few times and kind of did all the things that I felt like I was going to accomplish in wrestling. Obviously didn't make that Olympic team, which was the one thing that kind of eluded me. I had some great rivalries with Mike Bowman from Germany, Haki Basar from Turkey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ronaldo Pena from Cuba. I had amazing matches and amazing times trying to best those guys, who were all guys that medaled at the Worlds and the Olympics. And I think sometimes things happen for a reason. You lose matches, you lose. I think had I won my medal, had I made that team, I probably wouldn't have been as hungry as I was at 34 to continue and go into competing in mixed martial arts until I was 48. So I think things worked out.
Now Bowman's the German coach. We see him all the time.
Oh yeah,
he was something else. Now he comes to the United States probably once a year at least to the training center. And next time I see him, I'll
yeah, smack him in the head for me.
He's a heck of a coach too. I mean, we've got a good relationship.
Athlete. Came through the Soviet system, wrestled for East Germany before the wall came down, and then obviously became a big part of the West German program and was a consistent performer at the world and international level. And he's one of those guys I had some barn burner matches with and never beat him. And I was fortunate in that I managed to beat Ronaldo, who was a silver medalist and one of the best Cubans.
Oh, absolutely.
90 kilos. I managed to beat Haki Basera one time at the Petrosinsky tournament in Poland.
But actually, our guys are wrestling there right now.
Oh,
Today's the first day of that tournament in Poland for the Greco guys.
FILA Class A tournament for Greco and an interesting trip.
Now, is there kind of a brotherhood of wrestlers within the mixed martial arts community? I mean, do you guys find each other and have kind of a bond that you had a similar background getting into the same place?
I think there is a camaraderie amongst the wrestlers that are now foraying into mixed martial arts, and I think it's one of the first things you ask. Oh, where'd you wrestle? Who'd you wrestle for? Oh, did you ever compete against that guy? Or
yeah, sure.
We all kind of share that similar history, and I think that brings us together, as well as trying to represent the sport of mixed martial arts, which in a lot of ways has come from a place of being misunderstood and now is enjoying obviously a heyday and really exploding.
And when you were competing, I mean, could you feel the pride that the wrestling community took in you as a successful person in MMA? I mean, clearly we can tell from where we are that the people that do wrestle really follow MMA and the wrestlers in the sport. I mean, did they come up and tell you, hey, keep it up, good luck, congratulations, you're one of us?
Yeah, I definitely felt the love from the wrestling community for kind of, in a lot of ways, representing wrestling in the sport of mixed martial arts. Guys like Severin Coleman, myself, Dan Henderson, Matt Linlin, all kind of those early guys that competed at a high level in wrestling and then kind of took off in MMA. And especially I think when MMA wasn't very liked, it wasn't misunderstood in a lot of ways. I think that the wrestling community is one of the few communities that got it first. They understood the similarities in the one-on-one individual combative sport, and I think we didn't have to educate them much about mixed martial arts. They got it.
Well, this is a great facility. We look forward to having our grappling event here tomorrow, and again, USA Wrestling is really pleased to be able to work with you on this, and wanted to let people in the wrestling community know that things are going pretty well. Now, you got a movie coming up, is that correct?
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the plot? Or
I'm leaving actually tomorrow afternoon for a movie called Hijacked, and playing a lead character, a CIA agent that gets caught up in a terrorist group, and get to play with Dominic Purcell and Vinnie Jones, who are two really good actors, so it should be a good learning experience for me, and I got to kind of carry the ball and play a lead character, so I'm excited about that. It should be fun.
Now, what do you find more difficult, acting or wrestling or MMA?
Amazingly, a lot of similarities in the two, and I think that coachability, listening, being focused, and having the focus to stay in the scenes and listen to the cues from your fellow actors and know where you're supposed to be. Are huge things, and it's a grind. You're 12, 14-hour days just about every day of the shoot, and so there's a physical kind of grind to that I think wrestling prepared me well for.
Do you tell young kids that come up to you to give wrestling a try? I mean, you must have a lot of fans where they're young, and do they ever ask you about should I do wrestling?
I get a lot of questions about wrestling. Is wrestling a good place to start for MMA? And obviously, I think it's a terrific foundation. I think it's the oldest combative sport for a reason. We had a lot of things figured out a long, long time ago, and I think we're going to see a lot more wrestlers foray into this sport. It's going to become the professional outlet for wrestlers, where we didn't really have one before, unless you wanted to go into professional wrestling.
Right.
More of a form of entertainment than a national sport. So I think that we're definitely promoting the sport of wrestling from an early age. I have wrestling programs here at the gym, and Keck runs a wrestling program here for me, and there's a lot more interest from the mixed martial arts community in becoming wrestlers and learning wrestling attributes and wrestling technique.
Well, Randy, thanks so much for having us here, and we're going to have a lot of fun the next couple of days doing some grappling, and good luck on the film, and we look forward to seeing you. Maybe we can get you to come out to the Olympic trials this year.
Yeah, I would love to.
It'll be in Iowa City. We're selling a lot of tickets.
Iowa City.
In April. Well, you're a cowboy. You've been there.
Be a wanted man in Iowa City. No, I actually got to go to the Iowa State duel last year.
Yeah.
It was the first wrestling duel meet I've been to in quite a while. And it was an amazing match.
Well, we'll keep you posted because the trials should be interesting this year, and there'll be a big crowd. We'd love to have you up there.
That'd be great.
Outstanding. Thanks a lot, Randy Couture.